Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I think that um, video just depicts the the message does is that some of can do for us. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Abiodun Anjoko. I'll be taking us through some of the and understanding civic space and so why does this matter? It was one first of all, the trust of the citizens is very important. And why and once this is not available for people to freely express themselves, citizens' engagement become weak. The interest of the people will not be willing to engage and participate in the process. Another reason why this also matters is that accountability system suffers, and being able for us to be able to hold government accountable and for us to ask certain questions is very important. Human rights protections also become vulnerable. People might not be able to express their rights. Their rights will become vulnerable and to be infringed upon. Likewise, like we said, citizens' engagement, democratic participation will also dwindle. Next slide, please. Some of the emerging challenges that we've been able to identify is the current restrictions of freedom of expression. We know that, citing a recent case of the popular social media trending case of Justice Crack, currently trending on social media, and yesterday we just found out that he was released. The young man just freely expressed the freedom of expression with regards to the welfare of our armed forces. And we saw how that freedom of expression was infringed upon. Misinformation and digital manipulation has also been something that has been eroding in the space. Likewise, harassment of civic actors, like I just gave the example. Public participation in governance and limited access to safe reporting channel is also an issue. Many people see the freedom of social media as a platform to express their voice, but that channel is also not safe because you are being monitored, or you can also be tracked and traced. Next slide. Why is there a need for action? There is a growing need for safe civic engagement platforms, improved reporting and documentation systems, greater public awareness and participation, better collaboration among stakeholders to see how we can work better together to solve some of all these issues. And lastly, we know that technology has come to the world to help improve the process. So technology can also provide a civic solution. The brain behind this platform, the vision behind this platform, it seeks to strengthen civic participation. It seeks to encourage accountability and transparency. It likewise seeks to support access to civic information. It may be Justice Crack today. It could be me tomorrow. It could be you next tomorrow. So we all need to collectively have this information and know how to act with it. Likewise, we need to promote citizens-driven engagement and action. These are what this platform seeks to achieve. This platform was developed targeting to curb certain operational gaps. One of them is the fragmented reporting channels, weak coordination and response system. You could see that if someone's fundamental human rights or freedom to express himself has been infringed upon, the response time, they say delayed justice is also no form of justice. So they in this room, for instance, there might be very few persons in this room that have or know about any digital platforms. So this platform is also being developed to help provide a voice for each and every one of us in the room. And lastly, also, it also provides timely civic information. I know we have scholars in the room. We have academias in the room. We have civil society organizations in the room. Some of the information, some of the data, some of the findings can proactively set or shape perceptions or insights into some of what we do. During the development process, we engaged key stakeholders. We engaged the National Human Rights Commission, the Police Service Commission, the Ministry of Interior in advocacy engagements regards the civic space context. We also visited 36 states, including the FCT, where we visited civil society actors, media and journalists to get their opinion or thought in terms of what can be developed for them to be able to freely express themselves without being harassed, intimidated, or oppressed. Some of the feedback from some of all these engagements gave birth to this platform. Some of the insights shaped the design and reporting and engagement features, which will be discussed by my colleagues going forward. Lastly, before the platform would be presented to you, there was a deep dive to show how the platform testing can be refined and to be as simple for every citizen to be able to report any issue. In addition, we also incorporated a feedback integration and improvement mechanisms, and some of those feedback and recommendations would be updated subsequently. Thank you very much. I would like to invite Mr. Bukola Idowu for the next component of this. Thank you.
Once again, I want to welcome you and thank you, Abiodun, for taking us through the process and what the platform is all about. We are here today to launch this platform. Like Abiodun said, this platform has been something we've been working on for a year, or even if not over. And we've been across the 36 states and see what exactly can we do to protect the civic space. What exactly can we do to protect Nigerians? What exactly can we do to protect Nigerians' human rights? What we are about doing now is to unveil the platform. I promise you this meeting, this event is not going to be very long. It's just going to be a very short event. But permit me, I want to apologize to my team because I'm going to go off the script a bit. I woke up this morning with a lot of concern in my heart. I was dragging my feet that should we hold this event or not? Or should we go to the Unity Fountain to host this event? I was just dragging my feet. It took the officer in charge of this event to try to convince us that we should have this event today. And what was my reason? I think we need to look around us. Our country, Nigeria, is not only navigating a difficult season. Nigeria is truly bleeding. Nigeria is truly bleeding. And that was what was pricking my conscience. Why a family, the father, the breadwinner, has been beheaded somewhere in Oyo State. I was looking at the moral justification for me to sit in 5-star hotel and drink tea and eat under the AC where the family is in pain. 2 days ago, while I was coming back, I think we went to Osun State, to Ekiti State for advocacy visit. While we were coming back, one of our former staff who got a job in Lagos and then moved to Lagos called me or sent me a message while he was coming. While we were coming back to Abuja, and he said, in the message, he said, I just lost my daughter. 5 years old. No, I think around 7 years old. What was the reason? He said negligence of the medical institution. Because they couldn't attend to the lady, to the girl. Somebody is saying you have to pay. Somebody is saying you have to get card before they will attend to the person. And what was the issue? The girl and the guardian were standing by the roadside to get a taxi that would take them to school. And a car came, they said brake failure, clear the girl. And as the girl and the guardian, they were rushed to the hospital. What concerns somebody is the card that must be gotten first. Lo and behold, the lady died. While that was going on, a video was flying around about people that are being beaten and sent to their family and they have to get ransom. And I was looking in my heart, what is the justification for sitting under 5-star hotel, in a 5-star hotel, to have conversation? Are we totally different from these people? Are we all Nigerians? I was seriously reflecting this morning. So permit me, before we launch this, I just want to do a bit call to action. That it looks like we are living in different world. My people in the Southwest, in those days, keep talking about, oh, it's happening in the North, oh, Northeast, Northeast, Northeast. Now, it's right there at the capital of the Southwest, Ibadan. Yesterday in Ibadan, 2 men were adopted, gunpoint, at the capital of Oyo State, not even at the local government, right there. So, our nation is bleeding. And if from the quiet desperation in our marketplace to the stark terror in our undeserved communities, the pain of common citizens has reached the breaking point. This is no longer a moment for partisan game. calculated soundbite or the comfortable neutrality of political maneuvering. When a house is on fire, you don't argue who owns a furniture or not. You simply grab a bucket and want to quench the fire. The luxury of political theater belongs to a country at peace. But we are not at peace. Why somebody's father was beheaded? We are talking about Fubara did not get the ticket. Are we seriously normal? Why somebody's father was being beheaded and children are in captivity? We are talking about Shike and Frank. Are we normal? Is it because it's not at our doorstep? When it's happening to others, it's good. When it happened to us, it's bad. I think for once, we need to put up our humanity. But today, survival is only metrics and history will judge us harshly if we look away. Permit me to speak and pour my heart out to our fellow civil society this morning. We are here to talk about the civic space. The burden of rescue now falls squarely upon our shoulder, Nigerian civil society leaders. For too long, we have waited for political structure to self-correct, only to watch them fracture further under the weight of self-interest. The community organizer, we the community organizer, the human rights defenders, the labor unions, the faith leaders, and the passionate youth are the true custodian of our national conscience. I think it is time for us to wake up. A staff of us who have consistently witnessed, I think came from the Northwest, who have consistently witnessed terror, bandit attack. Eventually got a job in KDI, and one of these days we were discussing, and then he said something that really struck me. He said it is only when he got to Abuja that he saw churches taking offering, that he saw churches talking about prosperity. He said, where we live, when we are going to church, we hug ourselves that in case we didn't come back. And this is what we are facing in. We are having praise concerts. We are having love feast. And some people are dying. And we are quiet. We invite people to say, come, let's do something to salvage this country, to rescue this country, to the civic space. The first thing fellow civil society is asking, are you paying transport? Are you going to, how much are you giving me? We've lost our humanity when everything that can save this country has become transition and transactional. What are we doing? You go to institution, they say somebody has died. They don't have the record. Our media men report and put no face, no name to the people that died. They just become a data, a dot, a number on the data, in the statistics. No name. My boss is here. Sometimes ago, we went to the US, and then we were privileged to visit the 9/11 museum. Everybody that died, their names were written. Names were written, properly documented. In fact, you see shoes preserved. You see jacket preserved, that this belonged to this person that died in the 9/11. Here, how do we report? No name. One of the things we want to solve, though, that we can put name, that it's not like 4 Nigerians have died, and then we moved on. And then the next thing is, we even have comedians joking about it. That mathematics teacher, my mother was a teacher. took us, 6 of us, with a salary that is less than 80,000. I can't imagine that woman is facing this. We used to think permit me to just call us to action that we, civil society, government institution, the most terrible thing you get to some government institution, this is happening, they don't have fuel. They don't have budget. They don't have resources to investigate. I made bold to say today, I'm sorry, my team, I am out of script. I made bold today that government has collapsed in this country. There are lots of ungoverned spaces. A lot. What are we doing? Civil society, we had the hope. Seriously, we had the hope. But now, if you go to meetings, what do we advertise on our status? Is the tea break? Is the lunch? Is the buffet? Is how cozy the 5-star hotel we slept is? Is somebody holding the camera for you and begin to video you as you are stepping into the aircraft? And then come back later after the meeting. Nothing was being posted about the meeting you attended. It's about the luxury. What we have done is that we have detached ourselves from the people we are called to defend. And what it means is that those people, no wonder they did not trust us. They trust very dark man more than us. Because you are enjoying. Our program cannot be heard until it's 5-star hotel. When last can we just go to one hall and have our program? When last can you say, look, because of this country, I will go and attend this event. We must do something. I must volunteer. But your volunteering must come with money. Oh, it's a lot of donor money. I think, permit me to say, let this be our collective call to action. We must rise not to oppose a single party, but to defend our shared humanity. And permit me to say, all the parties are the same. The politicians are the same. Who is going to help us? You think we escaped PDP, we came to APC, it has been worse. What are we going to because the same character are moving from one place to the other. We are afraid to speak out. What are we afraid of? Do you know what we are afraid of? Because we ourselves are cutting corners. How many of us can speak freely? We come, be paying your tax. That is the issue. If you start today to do the right thing, we have the moral burden. Let us flood the public square with our uncompromised demand for accountability, security, and economic justice. If I answer everybody that demand money for me to eat, I can bet it with you with my calculation. Today, I'm going to borrow. I'm even going to, my salary will not be enough. That is to tell you that people are the standard of living. But for us, because we can have our 3 square meal, we have detached ourselves from the plight of the people. And that is what we must do. We must mobilize our communities, use our voices as shield for the vulnerable, and refuse to accept chronic suffering as our normal state of being. They say Nigerians, oh, our elastic limit is high, is this. And then we accept things that should not be normal are becoming normal to us. And if you have come to that state, it's a disaster. When abnormal has become normal, it's a disaster. In fact, we are beginning to see it. That people don't, as simple as traffic light, we don't wait for it again. Abnormal has become normal. They arrested one man some time ago. for breaking traffic rule or violating the traffic rule. Do you know what he said? He said, I didn't see you. I didn't know you are there. So we only obey if he sees a policeman over there. I didn't know you are there. That is the level at which we are degenerated to. That is the level at which we don't even care. I went to Bono while we were developing this. A lady told us a story. He said the father have to move them to Kogi so that they can continue their school because they can't go to school again in Bono as at that time. And you know the pain of this lady. The lady dropped out of that school in Kogi. Do you know the pain? The pain is that when they got to Kogi, the classmate and everybody, and including the teacher, refused to associate with her and the sibling because they started calling her Boko Haram because she came from Bono. They couldn't cope. He said, look, it's better for us to go back to Bono. Eventually, we met her in Bono. He said, I rather stay here than to endure the stigmatization there in the same country. So we must mobilize ourselves. This bleeding must stop. And it will only stop when civil society stand up, lock arms together, and declare with one thunderous voice that our nation is worth saving. I want to die, and my daughter should be proud that my dad contributed his own quota. What are we doing? If care is not taken, build your house, barricade it the way you are. But the truth of the matter is this: when your neighbor is not at peace, you are not at peace. And our neighbor is, don't say northeast, northwest, oh, it happened in Ibadan. It's gradually coming. If not insecurity, what about terrible healthcare system? What about the potholes? What about things that can take our life? It's the systemic thing, and we must not fold our hands. This is just a bit of my reflection. And that the platform we are building today, we now begin to document. And we begin to put faces and names, not like Nigeria, not one human being, not a Gbira man, not a Kanuri man, not an Hausa man died, not 4 people, not one mathematics teacher was beheaded. He has no name. Mathematics teacher, 90 children were kidnapped. No name, nothing, no memorial. Where have we built memorial for people? Where? The government has collapsed, and we must rise up and do something about it. KDI team, apologies, I went out of the script because it's a burning desire. As we start here, we must reflect. We must do everything we must do. It's my privilege to welcome us to the unveiling of the platform that will document, track, and also demand accountability, most especially in resolving some of these cases in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, let's fix our eyes. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for the team. Thank you to FCDO Thank you. This is a long journey and it has a lot of things to be unpacked. To unpack this, let me welcome Femi Adebayo.
Thank you. You know, one of the realities that we'll face as a people is actually the fact that the science has always been there. But I don't know how, as a people, we did not take cognizance of all of those signs. Because the truth is, insecurity, civic instability, they're actually intertwined. I remember that I was engaging a data sometimes back, and during in short, since 1962, I had the opportunity sometimes back to analyze the data of social movement and civic actions in Nigeria. You know, during the Aba Women's Riot, come back to Enugu Coal Massacre, you talk about Ali Must Go, you talk about the Occupy Nigeria. Just take your mind back for people that have that understanding. The truth is, we got to NSAS, End Bad Governance. Over 100, some data said over 100 journalists were attacked. 35 were arrested. Some were actually killed. But in the morning, after the night, in the morning, evidence were disappeared. And we couldn't even lay claim to it. But in some instance, some people were saying bodies were found on the side and all of those things. Beyond does that, it is increasingly difficult to even say something. The Cybercrime Act sometimes is being used in a way that gags free speech. Have you heard before where people that are speaking towards issues around governance, where they were charged with terrorism financing? You've forgotten the case of the minor that were charged with treasoning because they joined protest of the End Bad Governance. I'm just pretty much calling our attention to it that the signs were there. We most likely didn't say anything, or maybe the few that said something, their voice were not amplified. I know that Bukola had said about the Nigeria civic space is basically to amplify those voices. But I'm just here to show you that we can also do something within our little space. You remember the video? There was something there that spoke about silence. What does it say, sir? Did you remember? It's talking about silence. It also means you're complicit. Again, we look far and wide, all of these things we're talking about today, or maybe some instances I've given you, where can we even find them documented? If you're a researcher, where can you get them? So basically, that is what we're trying to show you. So KDI as an organization, look at this. How do we then use civic tech to ensure that this fragmented data here and there are brought together? Not just that, citizens are able to know where. I asked myself when Bukola was speaking earlier, if I'm being brutalized by the police, where should I go to? The police. These are a great lot of questions. But in our little way, we provided this, the Niger Civic Space. I need to say this. It is not just about reporting, because I know emphasis have been laid on reporting. It goes beyond reporting. It is actually a civic intelligence tool that helps Nigerians to be able to have organized data and turn it into actionable figures. And if you look at it, this is pretty much the landing page. And one of the key things that we actually highlighted or to show is that you can explore the data and you can as well report an incident. And if you look at it, the landing page is simply designed. The color is pretty much friendly. It is easy. One of the things we tried to do is also not to use very technical civil society language. For instance, it is telling you you're welcome to a platform where you can report so, so, and so. It didn't say civic intelligence too, just like I said. It didn't even come to tell you it is early warning. So one of the first thing I want to say to you is that as much as it is reasonably practicable, we try to break those things down so that it is user-friendly. Because again, before we came up with this, we actually did this or use a strategy called the user-focused or the user-centered design, where we went across to people, ordinary Nigerians, that doesn't even understand civic space. Possibly they have understanding of human rights, but not in the conceptual manner. To get details, what do you think these should be? So, if you want to report, reporting is quite easy. The very first thing is you can click on this button that is highlighted. You can even come to this point to also click on reporting. And one of the things we've tried to do is to ensure that the reporting is simplified. And what do I mean by simplification? Is the fact that the reporting fields are actually not numerous. And when I say numerous, on the go, you can easily do your reporting. And I make bold to say this because we've been in conversation with institutions that we know are able to provide actionable steps to all of this. For instance, one of the wins and one of the things that we've done is to also sit with the National Human Rights Commission. And we're gracious enough, the National Human Rights Commission opened their doors. And one of the things that, in form of partnership, is that it is not replacing what the National Human Rights Commission does, because this fits also as an extension of the eye of the National Human Rights Commission. So this fits directly into the complaint mechanism of the National Human Rights Commission. And I think at this point is just to give the National Human Rights Commission a round of applause. Please, if you can do that for me. And you know why? Because we've worked with institutions. I mean, institutions that when it comes to things like this, their doors are not open to it. But the fact that the National Human Rights Commission was able to allow us feed directly into their complaint process, it means a lot. Oh, I'm back. So this is the reporting field for citizens. It's just about 3 to 4. And the reason why we did this is because we want to simplify this, make this as simple as possible. And because Linked to this, we are weary of fake news because we also know that exists in the country. There is also the verification protocol because this doesn't go directly into the database. The database. So there are verification protocol to be able to certify if that information is happening, except if you're giving us a live feed. So people can also do live recording. While the incident is going on, you can do the live recording. I think the media people should help us. Thank you. But again, this is not all about reporting. Remember that during Bukola's speech, he spoke about the fact that we have...
This is a test of the voice evacuation system. Following the recent incident...
All right, so it's the fire drills. All right, we remember earlier that the security person came to tell us about this. So please, it's a drill. Right.
Public address
So...
test. This is a test of the public address system.
All right. So, if you look at this, this is not the end because we've been able to forge partnership
Signal level
with
and speech
over
ability.
100 civil society across Nigeria to be able to also
Public address system.
lead reporting to verification to follow up on actions across the state. Because we know that KDI is just, can only be in one place. We can't be everywhere at the same time. So that is why we've been able to do that. Again, because their own channel of reporting is completely detailed and different from this. But I think I've done a lot on reporting. The team is currently working on getting information even from the remotest part of Nigeria. Just with SMS. Just getting data, getting information via SMS. Right. Again, we've been able to provide the toll-free. People can also call to be able to say, this is what is happening. This is how it is. I think I've said quite a lot on reporting. Can we go back to the landing page? I want to speak to us the data. So one of the things that we've been able to do is to not just make it a repository. Please, can you all hear me? Can you hear me? All right. Not to just make it a repository, but to be able to make use of the data for early warning and for it to be actionable and usable for people, civil society, academics, even citizens. Can we come to the explore data option so we can get the data?
This is a test of the public address system. This is a functional test for system
All right.
operation. Loudspeaker
So
coverage.
one of the things we've been able to do is to use the information that is being reported to be able to give the state of action in each of the states. So for instance, the data gotten is able to give you details about, at a glance, what exactly is happening in each of the states. If you scroll up, we've been able to map the incident and turn them using methodology to be able to give you if a state is open in terms of civic space, human right issue, if it is slightly open, if it is slightly closed, and if it is completely closed. And this has been able to put into consideration decay in terms of time. Because again, as incident happens, the time decay also matters. It has been able to put into consideration if an issue or an incident has been resolved. It has been able to put into consideration the frequency and of course the fatality, the severity of issues. So if you look at this in terms of methodology, I don't want to bore you with methodological terms, but all of those have been taken care of. Maybe we can increase the size a bit. Thank you. Can we look at one of the states? Just give me data for one of the states.
This is a functional test.
Can we move? Okay, thank you.
Loudspeaker coverage.
Thank you. So this is Borno State. It's able to give you details about the region in terms of national ranking. is able to also give you the overall score in terms of what exactly constitutes this. Again, this is the overall. You can also filter to look at, for instance, if you're interested in gender-based violence,
of the public address system.
because these are some of the things that are here. For instance, you are able to also filter to say, I want to just know what is the state of gender-based violence in each of the states. You can as well look at it. Oh, hang on, let's go back up.
Public address system.
Yeah. So if you look at it, these are different types of issues that these can accommodate. For instance, legal and judicial repression,
And speech intelligence.
legislative and policy restriction, state of abuse of power, physical threat, sexual and gender-based violence, data threat, censorship and media suppression,
Functional test.
restriction of association and assembly, even identity-based repression, right? And of course, social stigmatization to the point of also economic and financial harassment. There's a lot of them there that people are able to report about that. But there are just two things more for me to say. Is the fact that in terms of the ranking, if you look at it, there is also a way for you to compare in terms of time range. You want to compare the data within a period and a period. You're able to do that, right? You're able to also even compare states. For instance, you want to compare two states. You don't have to scroll and be looking for the state. It's easy for you to just do this comparison, right? You can decide to say you want to compare. Let's do maybe Oyo. Let's do Oyo and Bonu. Okay, thank you. You can't find Oyo State? Okay, all right, thank you. Yeah, so you are able to just bring out the two states you want to compare, to look at what is happening there. And of course, for you to be able to also filter here, you can all do all of those. So we've tried as much as possible to simplify this, that it is usable as much as it's reasonably practicable. Of course, part of the things we try as much as possible to keep is also, whatever the state of play today, it's also the part of the history. For instance, if you go to the rank history, it will also give you the past state of things in the state. It will help you to understand if things are improving. It will help you to understand if things are deteriorating in each of the states. So you're also able to do all of those. So you decided to go with IMO, right? So it will draw the trend. It will give you the pattern based on the month. Don't forget that you can also decide the different month that you want to look out for. But one of the things that this does is a forecast. We want to also learn from the data that we have. As a matter of fact, one of the things we've done as KDI is to go back in time to 2011 to get information, data as far as we can get it on issues of civic space and human rights, and you can find them on the platform right now. To be able to go back to see what is happening, while we continue to get the real-time information as we move forward. I know my colleague will literally talk about that in terms of those information, so I don't want to go into it. But the forecast is we want to learn from the data, what has been happening in the past, what is happening currently, and it can help us to know what will happen in the next 6 months. So the platform is able to also forecast for you based on the information that we have on the platform. So if you're a civil society individual, if you're an academic, even Nigerians, you can check your state, as a citizen, to know if you're interested in any issue, maybe physical threat, police brutality, you can filter out to see what the trends of police brutality looks like and what is likely going to happen from the data. And it has been trained with a model that has been proven statistically to be worth forecasting. I think one more thing to let us know is that this doesn't just end in reporting, in the data analysis. There is also the future of alerting. And that is why we were seeking partnership even before we made this public. I spoke about the National Human Rights Commission. We are in conversation with the NBA. We're in conversation with the Legal Aid. We're also in conversation with other institutions that are able to provide actions on this issue. So we have the alerting system as we get information and again verify the information. The system automatically send it to the relevant actor to work on it. And after that, it doesn't stop there. Remember I said we have partnership across all of the state. If it is not in Abuja, we have partners in the state that will follow up on those actions. Where is the state of play? What is happening at this moment? And that is what it is. It's like exploring all of the value chain from reporting to also feedback on the issue. I think at this point, I'll just say thank you for listening to me. That is not all. Oluwaseun is also going to go further in unpacking this. Thank you.
In developing the platform, we made the platform very accessible and navigate for everyone. So if you click on the link on the platform, that's www.nigeriacivicspace.com, and if you it's also displayed on our phone. So if you are going through board bulletin reports about on the system, it's displayed like that on the phone. At the same time, the platform has varieties of language. When you to this part, we have English, Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, Spanish, and French. Click on the Yoruba. Okay. So on the Yoruba, it changes to the Yoruba language. So I don't know who wants to volunteer to read for us. We have Yoruba people in the room. Okay, so so we also have that in Hausa, Igbo, on the platform. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Then just the Igbo, I think, let's see the Igbo. Okay, thank you. Then apart from that, we also have its displays in. You want to? Okay, just show the Spanish and French. Spanish is just. We might have someone that reads Spanish in the room. So this is also in Spanish display.
Thank you very much, and thank you. So, the platform is, like I said in my speech, we already have over 120 civil society across Nigeria who are also working on this. One of the things we have done here is that this is a platform for all of us. And when you look at that platform, you won't say like, okay, this is like a KDI project, but it is for all of us to be able to use. We have also signed those 120 civil society, and we are still counting. So as many of the organizations seated here that also want to come on board, we've signed them on. One of the things they are able to do within their locality is also to be able to verify incidents. So you are able to verify, for instance, something happened in your state, and the civil society or institution we've partnered with in that particular place are able to confirm for us, and then they are able to follow up. So these are some of the things we have been able to do. And one key thing without that we can't stop emphasizing is the openness and the partnership with National Human Rights Commission. If you look at that particular aspect of the reporting phase, one thing you saw there is that, do you want this case to be investigated? And that was specifically, that was a specific request from National Human Rights Commission that have to be there, because the moment you want the case to be investigated and something done about it is something that alerts the National Human Rights Commission, who takes it over as at that time, and then we take it up there. Now, what the first place you saw, the first reporting thing you saw was for the citizen. So which means citizen can, we've been able to scrape. Okay, so thank you. So these are some of them. And then, so you see, you can click on it, expand it, read what is it. And now, each of these has been tagged to a particular state, and that is why you see some of those things in those states. So, thank you very much. I think there was the one recently that was reported that the way, in fact, that is when we were testing, and one of the things that was very, that I was happy about was when the Minister of FCT said he will have shot Seun Okinbaloye right from the TV. And interestingly, you just find civil society that watched that and just started reporting, media intimidation. And that is one thing we wanted to see. But later the minister said he was joking. He didn't mean it. But in my village, they said it is when it is in your heart that you are intoxicated with it, and then it comes out. So when you drink alcohol, whatever you are spitting out is what is actually in your heart, that the thing is just helping you to bring out. But anyway, there is no empirical evidence to judge what is in the heart. But that is exactly what we see. So thank you very much for that. We have gradually come into the end of the event. So what is my honor to welcome for institutional reflection and / institutional goodwill, I think I will call first the National Human Rights Commission. Okay, thank you. So I will call the Deputy Director. I'm very sure maybe she's here or ably represented. Policy and Legal Advocacy Center. She stepped out? Okay, she stepped out. All right. So thank you. I think I'm left with no other option to call my boss, our boss, Dr. Matthew Ayibakoro. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, KDI has done a very terrible introduction. I am not their boss. Bukola is the boss. I'm here with, maybe I can call him my boss. I'm here with Charles from the FCDO. And I think when I was listening to Bukola earlier doing the call to action, I was telling my colleague Charles that I feel very bad about my goodwill remarks that I spent quite a bit of time drafting because it's going to sound a bit bland against the context of the conversations we've had today. But I'm here on behalf of the FCDO. I have to speak institutionally. And so I should start by saying I'm really, really delighted to be with you today. This is constrained. Democratic progress and the protection of rights become really fragile in any country. So initiatives such as the Nigeria Civic Space Platform we are talking about today is really important, but in the context of Nigeria's development is also very timely. The framework that it establishes, we do hope, will ensure that incidents are not only reported, but they are also understood, they are acted upon in a very systematic and coordinated way to achieve results. But we have to be sure and all tell ourselves in the room that the real value of this platform is going to depend very much on its utilization. There are a lot of platforms that do similar stuff in similar spaces online, but how we use it is going to be what is going to show its use. The effort that has been put into generating this important information must actually translate into action. Real progress can only be achieved when data informs advocacy and when advocacy translates to accountability. That sounds like Stephen Hawking. Okay. From the perspective of the FCDO, we are really proud to have supported this work. And this is really interesting. I feel like I need to start preparing comedy skits when I come for these things, so I can do entertainment while this is going on. For those who watch Big Bang Theory, this will be very unsettling.
From NAPTIP, Mr. Fan David.
I think, good morning all. Yeah, he made a JP. I'm the head of the reforms. Although NAPTIP was not listed for any goodwill message, but I think I can just say what's Nigerian spirit, the spirit that belongs to all of Nigerian spirit, the spirit that belongs to all of us. Us. When we protect the civic space, we protect the very soul of our democracy. Protect the very soul of our democracy. I commend the vision behind this project and pledge our unwavering solidarity in utilizing, defending, and expanding this vital digital sanctuary. Congratulations, and may our collective voices grow strong. And may our collective voices grow strong and even stronger. I think when they were just giving the demonstration, and when lady and you, what's your name? Oluwafemi, and the lady's name is Sheung. When they made the illustrations here, I think I was happy. The agency, NAPTIP, we are happy. Especially when we saw the scrolled, there was a scrolling point of events that are taking place, the way they were reported. I think it's a very good development. I think it's a very good development. Agencies, bodies, CSOs, agencies, bodies, CSOs, NGOs will key into this laudable program, will take part, and you make sure when you've successfully confirmed and known that that actual program or that actual problem or event occurred, I think it will be very, very important, vital, necessary, and punctual for you to report that case and hand over that case to the agency that is in charge of such cases. We have law enforcement agencies, we have paramilitary agencies, we have ministries, extra-ministerial agencies and departments that handle various cases and problems in Nigeria. NAPTIP, which we all belong, at least it's a federal government focal agency that handles cases of human trafficking, child labor, child abuse, sexual exploitation, and trafficking in persons, internally and externally across the shores of Nigeria. We investigate, we prosecute, we reintegrate, and we reunite victims so rescued back to the families. And as at date, we have so many cases that is being handled by NAPTIP as an agency. We have offices in the zones, we have offices in states, and of course the national headquarters is in Wuse, Zone 5. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.
Please, a round of applause for iChief. Please, a round of applause, please, until he gets to his seat. So much. So I tried to, put down some of the questions to be able to provide, thoughts and responses to them. I'll try as much as possible to do it in 30 seconds. But I think most of the questions also is coming like a suggestion. I think the very first thing to say is that this is like the version 1.0, right? We'll keep on improving on this. And one of the things, I said earlier is that it is user-centered, user-focused, right? So we will continue to improve and iterate this until we get to the point where we know, everybody, I mean everybody in the real sense.